Torres. And junior UCA All-American mascot, the Panthers. At this time, both schools will take part in the Good Sportsmanship gift exchange at midfield. Representing Caney Creek High School, our senior class president, Isabel Aracheta, senior class vice president, Kayla Gunnels, senior class treasurer, Amaris Hernandez, and senior class secretary, Nancy Hernandez. Representing Conroe, student council, student body officers, Renaya Maxey, Sherlyn Garcia, and Laura Day. Sports fans, if you would please rise at this time and join me in a moment of reflection. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, the bands will now perform their school songs, starting with the legendary Conroe High School Band, followed by the Mighty Panther Band from Caney Creek High School.
For over 40 years, Wood Forest National Bank has proudly supported the youth and schools of this great community. Our bank has grown through the years, and Montgomery County is our home. With over 30 convenient branch locations right here in Montgomery County, we are your community bank. Next time you're in the area, stop by and say hi. But for now, sit back and enjoy the game.
Our team at Buckaloo Chevrolet works hard every day to deliver a better car buying experience to every single customer. Just check out our reviews. Amazing to work with, great customer service, they really care are just a few of the things our customers are saying about us. So if you're looking for a better selection, a better car buying experience, and of course, a better buy, head to Buckaloo Chevrolet today, one of Houston's fastest growing Chevy dealers. We're on I-45 in Conroe, or shop BuckalooChevrolet.com. And remember,
it's a better buy at Buckaloo.
You've got a lot going on, so how do you find time to take care of you? At Houston Methodist, we work around your busy life. There's same-day visits when you're sick, online scheduling with specialists, access to all your records through MyChart, and video visits 24/7 if you need urgent care. Bringing you Houston Methodist's expertise, wherever, whenever you need it.
That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Shopping for a new or used vehicle? Or just looking for a place for good, reliable service? Go with the name you know. Gullo Ford, Gullo Mazda, and Gullo Toyota. The Gullo family has been serving the Conroe Woodlands area since 1970. So the next time you're shopping for a new or used vehicle or just need service, do yourself a favor and go see Gullo Toyota, Gullo Mazda, and Gullo Ford. Or log on anytime at GulloAuto.com. Gullo, let's drive.
It's not enough to be the leader in robotic-assisted procedures if we're not by your side for every step of your recovery, guiding you back to what makes you, you. Because it's not enough to replace your knee if we're not getting you to the moments that can't be replaced. Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care.
This is the first meeting, varsity meeting between these two football programs since Caney Creek opened in 1996, so 26 years ago. And over the course of those 26 years, these teams have not met. Another aspect of this game worth considering is that despite being in the literal shadows of their own high school, Conroe will be playing as the visitors tonight. So they've got the stands filling up on the visitor sides with their Conroe Tiger fans, and then Caney Creek is the home side of Moorhead Stadium tonight. It is the first night of District 13 play for both programs, and they come in with 1-1 records on the season. Looking to go 2-1 both teams, and again Caney Creek playing host to Conroe here at Moorhead Stadium. We're just about 6 minutes away from kickoff. We still got to get the teams on the field, the national anthem played, and the coin toss. All of that happening within the next 6 minutes. I want to thank you all for joining us this evening on the Conroe ISD Athletics YouTube channel. I'm glad you could find us. Last week, Caney Creek coming off a tough loss following their opening week win, so again they come in at 1-1. They were dropped a couple in the Green Park in the second.
Looking deep, he's got a man wide open, and it is complete. Past the D-back, and he is looking for a touchdown. What a great play.
Caney Creek, first time they're going to be playing Conroe at the varsity level, and they get to play host, so they have the home side of the stadium covered. And on the west end of the stadium, the Conroe Tigers are getting ready to enter the field, and here they come in their visitor jerseys. So a unique look here at Moorhead Stadium as Conroe enters with their white jerseys, gold pants, and white helmets. The Tigers are coming off a huge victory last week, 56-7 over Eisenhower. And they'll look to extend that to a 2-game winning streak. To go 2-1 on the season, Caney Creek and Conroe both 1-1 on the season. That makes them third place in the district. All right, I've been told we're going to try to work on the audio a little bit, so if you are having trouble hearing me right now, not to worry. We've got a great team trying to get that fixed up. And we're just about 2.5 minutes from kickoff, so we've got to get the coin toss in here and the national anthem played. And speaking of the technical crew here, I want to give a shout out to everybody who's working hard to get this on the YouTube channel for us. Beginning with our main man, site supervisor, Andrew Stewart. And then we're supported by Ryan Dickey, Robert Davidson, Abby Johnson, Nathan Goins, Garrett Rickwalt, William J. Blackburn, Eliana Del Aguila, Alvin Ham, and I am Nick Kroll, proud to bring this game to you from Moorhead Stadium. And they're getting ready to present the colors. I'll put myself on mute. We will enjoy the national anthem this evening.
Third class, Roost, Texas flag, Cadet Chief Select Trujillo, right rifle, Cadet Lieutenant, junior grade, Maserati, left rifle, Cadet Lieutenant Walters. And please join me in standing until the colors have exited the field. Thank you.
Always a great rendition of the national anthem from these bands out here at Moorhead Stadium. And once again, true to form on this Friday evening. Caney Creek playing host to the Conroe Tigers, which is odd to say because we are at Moorhead Stadium. Conroe on the visitor's sideline in their white jerseys for tonight's game. Both teams come in sporting 1-1 records. Conroe coming off a big win last week over Eisenhower, 56-7, and Caney Creek trying to recover from a tough loss to Galena Park last week, dropped a 35-7 game. They are tied for third in the district with the 1-1 record. Two very distinct styles of play from either team. You're going to see a lot more passing from the Conroe Tigers offense than you will from Caney Creek. Caney Creek going to try to establish the run early and often. In fact, they have 2 rushers in the top 10 in the district, beginning with junior Jaden Graves. You'll look for number 24 to find Graves, and he has 204 rushing yards on the season after 2 games. He's averaging over 7 yards a carry, and he has followed up number 6 rusher in the district, Timothy Palmer. He's the junior running back who wears number 9 for Caney Creek. And he's got 135 yards on the season. He's averaging over 8 yards per carry. Conroe rushing attack led by Dramico Green, sophomore, number 7, and he's got 95 yards on the season. Whereas passing, the top quarterback in district going off yards is Javarius Hatchett, Conroe's senior quarterback. 548 yards after 2 games. That's an average of 270 yards per game. So you're going to see one team throwing it through the air a bunch and one team pounding it on the ground extensively. And very often line up with 3 running backs in the backfield will be Caney Creek. Coin toss looks like Caney Creek has chosen to receive, and they will defend the eastern side of the field. They'll be going left to right to start the first quarter. And we're just about ready to get started. This will be a great game. Ever since Caney Creek opened in 1996, taking some of the students from this Conroe attendance zone, these teams have not played a varsity game until tonight. '96 was 26 years ago. You might have been listening to the Fugees, maybe Sublime, Dr. Dre, or the Counting Crows, or maybe you were watching Keenan and Kel, Malcolm and Eddie, or a show called Third Rock from the Sun. That's in the way back then machine. So it's been a long time coming for these teams to meet each other at Moorhead Stadium here on this beautiful Friday night. It is dry skies. Sun is still out for another about 30 minutes. And the last I checked, it was in the upper 80s, about 88 degrees out. So comfortable. We've got a good crowd out tonight, filling up the visitor side with the Conroe Tigers fans and the Caney Creek Panthers filling up the home side here. Caney Creek will receive. We're just about ready to get started here. 2 men deep for Caney Creek Panthers. They're inside the 10-yard line, getting ready to get this game started. You can kind of feel the excitement in the stadium. It's a local affair. It's a district game. And we're getting started with the kick up in the air. This one's going to be fielded and dropped at the 10 and picked up by Caney Creek. Advanced to the 15. He's hit hard at the 17 and brought down short of the 20-yard line. They're going to mark him at the 19. So a good kickoff for the Tigers. Going to give the Panthers an 81-yard field to navigate as they will get their first possession of this game. Again, led by a rushing attack. Jaden Graves and Timothy Palmer for Caney Creek get most of the touches. They do not play a hurry-up style of offense from the game I called 2 weeks ago. They will take their time in the huddle. They will use the clock, and they will run the ball extensively. This is a fumbled snap. Quarterback picks it up just to recover the ball. Cannot advance it, and it looks like it might have slipped out again. However, the ground caused the fumble. That play was down. And they'll mark it at the 18-yard line, so a loss of 1. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 11. Caney Creek varsity football is coached by Kendall Heineman, and he used to be an assistant coach here at Conroe. They're in a strong I formation. It's a pitch to the tailback. He is hit in the backfield, stopped at about the 16-yard line, and that's where they're going to mark this. So 2 plays in, and they've only gone backwards. This ball at the 16 will make it A 3rd and 13 for the Panthers. So a good defensive start for Conroe, as they're looking to force a quick 3 and out on the Panthers. Panthers looking to pick up a first down and keep this initial drive going early in this game. 10 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first quarter. Quarterback under center takes the snap. Number 4 with the carry, looking for some running room, doesn't get much. Maybe back up to the original line of scrimmage. Jonathan Mcmillan on the carry. And this will force a quick 3 and out. For the Caney Creek Panthers, a good defensive showing for Conroe on their first defensive series. And they'll look to get some good field position here as they're forcing a punt well within Caney Creek's side of the field. We'll look for a good snap, and it is good. The punt is off. It's a high punt and a pretty good punt. It looks like the receiver's going to field it. He gets brought down. Actually, not brought down. He gets caught, but he somehow slips away, and now he is off to the races midfield, gets it to the 50-yard line, dragging some would-be tacklers across midfield and brought down just short of the 40. They'll mark this at the 42-yard line. By all measures, he probably should have called for a fair catch there, but he made it work for him. There was a Caney Creek Panther right on him as he caught that punt. But he was able to slip him and evade a couple tacklers. And he's putting Conroe in really good field position here from the Caney Creek 41-yard line. We've got 9 minutes, 42 seconds in the first quarter. It's 1st and 10 on Conroe's first series. Quarterback in shotgun with an empty backfield, 5 wide receivers, 3 to the right. He's putting his number 13 wide receiver in motion. It's going to be a screen out to number 3. He picks up some blocks and gets up to about the 38-yard line. A gain of about 2 or 3 yards. And they'll mark it as a 3-yard gain, bringing up 2nd and 7. Quick to the line, no huddle offense. They're going to have 3 wide receivers on the left, running back in the backfield. Quarterback snap, short pass to number 5, looking for some blockers. Oh, and he stiff arms a would-be tackler down. He's off on the sidelines, trying to keep his feet in bounds. He does not step out of bounds, cuts inside, brought down at the 7-yard line. A couple of quick passes and some good blocks from his fellow wide receivers. Bounces off the tackler on the 35-yard line and keeps his feet in bounds as he races along the sideline and gets inside the 10-yard line. So a 1st and goal from the 7, 8:55 left in the quarter. They're looking to the sideline for the play call. At the line of scrimmage, 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. He's got number 7 in the backfield with him. That would be Dramico Green. Wide receiver in motion from right to left. Quarterback looking into the end zone. He's going to keep it. He's looking to run it in, and he is dragging some tacklers. It looks like he was very close to the goal line, but they'll mark him down at the 1. So a good reaction. I do believe he was looking for a pass there. Most receivers were well covered, and he just tucked it and ran it for a second there. It looked like he was going to get into the end zone. Brought down at the 1. It'll be a 2nd and goal from the 1. The snap is good. He looks to his right. He's got his wide receiver in the end zone, throws a jump ball. Wide receiver comes down with it, and that is Lewis Williams, the 3rd senior wide receiver, with the first score on the night. Touchdown, Conroe Tigers, puts them up 6-0. And with the short field to work with, they made short work of that initial series and put a quick 6 on the board, looking to make it 7 with the extra point. The extra point snap is good. The kick is up and through the uprights. Conroe Tigers put 7 on the board early. We have 7 minutes, 57 seconds left in the first quarter. Tigers 7, Panthers nothing. And just with the first 2 series, we kind of get a sense of the contrast in styles, as Conroe was all passes on their series, and in contrast, Caney Creek 3 plays, 3 rushes. The Panthers defense going to have to put a stop to Conroe here and there if they want to stay in this game and keep the score close, because they do not put up points in a hurry. It's a bit more methodical and purposeful than the style of football that I do enjoy watching. However, when you have a very quick operating offense on the other side, it can sometimes create issues as the game goes on. So we'll see how Caney Creek reacts to that initial Conroe series. Again, if you're just joining us on the YouTube channel, Conroe in their white jerseys, because they are technically the visitor team, even though we're at Moorhead Stadium. Caney Creek playing host in this District 13 game. Conroe's kickoff is good and fielded at the 10-yard line by Caney Creek, brought up to the 20, looking for blockers and running room, and swung down at the 23-yard line. So a little bit better start than they had on their first possession. And they'll get a chance to answer Conroe's quick 7 points on their first possession. This will be Caney Creek's second time with the ball this evening. 3 and out on their first possession, with the Conroe Tigers defense getting into the backfield often. Caney Creek out of the huddle, comes to the line. Quarterback is under center. Number 24 in motion. Quarterback keeper picks up a block from his running back, looking to get it to the outside on the left. Maybe picks up a yard before being brought down. And it looks like Mitch Melton, the junior Tiger, with the tackle on the outside. So it is second, and they'll say second and 10. It's about second and 9. Just over 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Conroe 7, Caney Creek nothing. It's a good snap, a quick toss to the running back, looking for some room to run up the middle, brings it up to the 28-yard line. Somewhere between the 27 and 28-yard line is where it looks like they'll spot this ball. And it'll bring up a 3rd down. We got about 5 yards to pick up the first down. They'll have to get it to about the 33-yard line. It's very early in the game. Like I said, we're just under 7 minutes left in the first quarter, but for some reason this seems like a fairly important early possession. Caney Creek would love to pick up a first down here and get a little momentum going on offense. This is the reverse, and the running back hit in the backfield at the original line of scrimmage, so a loss of 5 will bring up a 4th and 10 deep inside their own territory. Going to be forced to punt once again. Conroe stacking the box against the Caney Creek run and having no trouble getting some penetration into the backfield. We're coming up on 6 minutes in the first quarter. Conroe with a quick score and 2 defensive stops, so they hold a 7-0 advantage over the Panthers. Conroe comes in with the 4th ranked offense in district. Caney Creek with the 7th ranked offense. There's a timeout called by Caney Creek. That might have been an issue with the play clock coming down close to 0, so they're going to spend a timeout. We have 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first quarter, and that's the first timeout on the night. Let's see how into this the fans are. They're going to give them a dance cam. And, of course, start with the little girls. They love to dance. But then they get nervous when they know they're on the camera. There we go. There we go. That's called the floss. And I'm not sure what that's called, but I see it all the time. And the kid's got some moves. All right, we're out of timeout. It is 4th down. Caney Creek forced to punt. Punter set up on the 11-yard line. And a punt returner set up on their own side of the field on the Conroe 43-yard line. It's a good snap. The punt is off. It's a little bit shorter than last time. This one's going to bounce at the 44. Oh, it's touched by the Conroe Tiger. Almost lost it. He picks it up, brings it back to midfield, and brought down at the 50-yard line. Dangerous as he tried to field that punt off the bounce. Went off his hands. Caney Creek Panther was right there but could not recover the ball. No harm, no foul for Conroe as they will get their second possession on the night. A couple of quick passes and a quick score for Conroe puts them up 7-0 here in the first quarter. 5:28 left. I'm not sure. I know this is the first time that Caney Creek is playing Conroe at the varsity level. I'm not sure if this is the first time the Conroe Tigers have played as visitors here at Moorhead Stadium, but I would speculate that that is probably the truth. As far as I know, Conroe and Caney Creek, the only teams that call Moorhead Stadium home in our district, and being as this is the first time they've played. So there's a penalty on this play. It's a personal foul against Conroe, and it'll be attached to the end of the run. So Conroe going to keep possession on this, but they're going to lose 15 yards on this personal foul penalty. I'm not sure where it occurred, as this was well after the play was whistled dead and the ball was spotted at the 47-yard line. They're going to step off the 15 yards, and this will bring it back into Conroe territory. 5 minutes, 28 seconds left in the first quarter. Conroe 7, Caney Creek nothing. It is a beautiful Friday night for football. We still have fans arriving in mass. Plenty of space still left if you want to come down and see this live on this beautiful Friday evening. Conroe with an empty backfield. Puts a wide receiver in motion from left to right. 4 men on the right. Quarterback looking to throw. He's got a deep throw. Wide receiver had to stop his route and come back to it. Defended well by Caney Creek. That was intended for Lewis Williams III and defended very well by Andre Mendez of Caney Creek. I'm not sure if the quarterback saw the big opening in front of him. If he would have tucked and ran, he didn't have anybody for the next 20 yards easily. But he opted for the deep throw. It brings up 2nd and 10. It's a handoff, the first handoff of the game, and a gain of about 3 yards for the Tigers. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 7. And this will be a big defensive play for Caney Creek if they can force a punt on a quick possession by Conroe. Their first possession, the Tigers' first possession, resulted in a quick score, so they're up 7-0. Caney Creek with 2 possessions of 3 and out, so their defense trying to shift momentum a little bit here. Looking to throw, gets the throw off. It is short as the quarterback was hit on the throw. I believe the intended target was Braylon Reese, the junior. And a big defensive stop by the Panthers. Caney Creek forcing a punt. And we're just under 5 minutes left in the quarter. Clock stops at 4:54. Panther back deep to receive this punt at the 25-yard line. Conroe with large splits between the offensive linemen on this punt formation. It is a line drive punt, and Caney Creek going to let it bounce. Conroe will down it at about the 27-yard line. Each possession for Caney Creek so far has added about 4 yards from their previous start, so each possession making the field a bit shorter for them. However, they have not gotten too much going on offense this evening. 2 quick 3 and outs on their first 2 possessions. So the Conroe defense looking tough this evening to start the game. They essentially have 9 to 11 men in the box. They're just stacking the box. Caney Creek plays a power run. No need for your cornerbacks to play wide, so everybody's in that box. There's not a lot of running room. However, a good run there off the left tackle. And they'll give him a gain of about 6 yards. They'll call it 5, so we've got a 2nd and 5. That is the biggest gain for Caney Creek so far tonight, as they look to get something going on this drive, their 3rd drive of the night. Just over 4 minutes left in the quarter. Caney Creek very purposeful and methodical, take their time in the huddle, take their time at the line. They're going to use the clock, they're going to run. Here's another run. Pitch that gets off the right side, then he turns it up the middle. He picks up the 1st down before he's brought down at the 40-yard line. And that's Caney Creek's first down of the night. A big run by number 4, Jonathan Mcmillan, the junior running back for the Panthers. New set of downs, 1st and 10 from the 40. 3.5 minutes left in this first quarter. Conroe leads 7-0. Quick score on their first possession. Caney Creek defense with a big stop on Conroe's last possession, and the Panthers trying to take advantage of that by getting something going on offense here. Another pitch handoff to number 24. He is hit immediately in the backfield. That's going to be a loss of about 3 or 4. Jaden Graves is the leading rusher for the Panthers. He can't get anything going there on that particular play, and that'll bring up a 2nd down and 13 for the Panthers. And they've got one wide out on the right side. Caney Creek with the snap, looking to throw, looking on that right side, breaks to the sideline, makes the catch. A really good route and a great catch by Emilio Banks. And that's a good pickup, which makes this 3rd down more manageable. I think they need about 2 yards to pick up the 1st down. They got to get it across midfield. And if they get it past the 50, they'll have a new set of downs, as they huddle up with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the quarter. They're down a score, 7-0. As they get to the line, there's 7 seconds left on the play clock. Wide receiver split wide on the right. Everybody else in a tight formation. They're going to call a timeout, I believe. This will be the 2nd Caney Creek timeout of the evening with 1:51 left in this first quarter. They trail 7-0. Some other district games going on tonight, including yesterday. There was already a District 13 game as the Woodlands defeated Oak Ridge last night, 45-17. And then in other action, College Park hosting Grand Oaks, and Willis taking on New Caney. As it stands, New Caney and Grand Oaks are both 2-0 in the district. Conroe, Oak Ridge, Willis, Caney Creek, and the Woodlands all tied for 3rd with 1-1 records, and then Cleveland and College Park still looking for their first victory of this very early season. Of course, this is Caney Creek's first year as a 6A team, which is why it's the first time they've played Conroe at this varsity level. Coming out of the timeout, it's a 3rd and 2. Caney Creek up to the line, playing with the wide receiver right. It's going to be a pitch handoff, and Conroe is almost predicting the plays before they even develop, because there were 2 men in the backfield to make that tackle immediately. In fact, pretty surprising that the running back could hold on to the ball. He was met so quickly by those tacklers. A loss of about 3 yards will bring up a 4th and 5. They're on their own side of the field, so Caney Creek will look to punt again. They finally got a little offense going, but Conroe defense puts a stop to that before they can cross midfield, and they'll be set up at about the 25-yard line to receive this punt. The snap is a little high, but received well by the punter. A very high punt will drop at the 20, fielded off the bounce deep inside their own territory, but he's off to the right sideline where he has some running room. Would-be blockers in front of him. One more man to beat. The punter will not get him, and this punt return will be for a touchdown. And a huge shift in momentum as Conroe scores. However, there is a flag all the way back on the Conroe side of the field. You can imagine this might be a holding call. And if so, that'll take those 6 points off the board and bring that all the way back to the Conroe side of the field. And we're waiting on the call from the officials. Oh, so they pick up the flag and say no penalty. Touchdown is good. Special team score for the Conroe Tigers as they go up 13-0. Only 48 seconds left in the first quarter. Caney Creek looking for an explanation on the flag, no flag call. Caney Creek on their third offensive possession picked up a couple of first downs before getting stopped, forced to punt, and then a really great punt return by the Tigers. They're setting up for the extra point. Snap is a little high, brought down. The hold is good, and the kick is through the uprights. Conroe goes up 14-0. We've got less than a minute left here in the first quarter. Caney Creek will have their fourth offensive possession of the game. They got a little something going with their rushing attack on the last series. Their first completion through the air as well, so they'll try to capitalize on some of the offensive momentum they had going in their last offensive series. Conroe Tigers defense looking tough as they're managing to break through the Caney Creek offensive line and get into that backfield quickly and often. Caney Creek looking for a special teams spark, just like Conroe got from their punt return unit. Caney Creek's kickoff return unit out and two men deep inside the 10-yard line. One set up on the 8, and the one closest to me set up on the 5-yard line. Again, Conroe playing as the visitors at their home stadium, Moorhead Stadium, here on this Friday night. From the right hash mark, the kick is up. It's a good deep kick fielded at the 2-yard line, brought up to the 10, looking for some running room, tries to make the 20, but brought down just short of the 20. Now they'll give him that extra yard and spot the ball at the 20-yard line. There are 42 seconds left in the game, 14-0 Conroe. Caney Creek has one timeout left. Conroe, they have all 3 of their timeouts left this evening, or in this half, I should say. Caney Creek in the huddle. Wide receiver Emilio Banks split wide right. Conroe playing with 5 down linemen. It is a rollout for a pass, looking for some room to throw. Finds his running back in the flat at the 30, makes the tough catch and then hit immediately and driven out of bounds. Enough for a first down as they'll mark it at about the 30.5, maybe the 31-yard line. It was Jaden Graves, the junior running back, with the reception. Five down linemen for Conroe. It looks like they've got about 2 linebackers and 4 DBs. There are 15 seconds, and we're ticking down to about 10 seconds, 3 seconds on the play clock. They're going to have to get the snap off, which they do with a second left. They'll run it up the middle. And that is a tough yard gained, a 2nd and 9. Folks, that's the end of the first quarter. Conroe Tigers 14, Caney Creek Panthers nothing. as we take a moment for our officials to switch sides of the field and our coaches to meet with either side of their respective teams. Another big part of this are turnovers. Conroe comes into this game with a +3 turnover ratio, while Caney Creek dealing with a -4 turnover ratio. So that could play something in this game with a big difference in turnovers. However, it's been a pretty clean game so far. No turnovers, 2 touchdowns, both on the Conroe side. As we'll start the second quarter here, Conroe up 14-0. District 13 play just got more interesting this year as Caney Creek joined the crowd here at the 6A level. They get to play Conroe for the first time and all the other Conroe ISD schools. So some good games to look forward to this year if you're a Caney Creek Panther fan. So we've got 2nd and 9 at the start of this second quarter. It is a handoff to the fullback. He's got some running room. He's dragging a couple would-be tacklers with him past the 35-yard line and brought down at the 36. That makes a more manageable 3rd down as they'll get about a 3rd and 6 yards. Coming off the special teams touchdown for Conroe, Caney Creek looking to extend this series, pick up another 1st down, keep the Conroe offense off the field as they've had some success going through the air against the Panthers. Panthers in a tight formation, no wide receivers wide. Man in motion in the backfield. Quarterback rolls to his left, looking to throw. Has his man open for a completion just short of the 50-yard line. Aiden Neese with the reception. Caney Creek almost at midfield at the 48-yard line with a new set of downs. 11 minutes left in the second quarter. They trail 14-0. On this Friday night, it is the first night, or I should say week, since there was a game last night, of district play. Caney Creek and Conroe both come in with 1-1 records. It's a handoff up the middle, hit immediately at the line. Brought down right at the line of scrimmage, so this will bring up a 2nd and 10. 10.5 minutes left. I do admire Caney Creek's approach. They are committed to the run. They don't seem to abandon it. They have passed a little bit more. I would speculate either by game plan or in response to the fact that Conroe is just putting every man they have up on that line, in that box. They're going with 5 down linemen. It's a pitch, and the runner cuts it up the middle. Gets about 2 yards on the carry before he's brought down. Caney Creek makes it across midfield for the first time, I believe, this evening. And they are on the Conroe 48-yard line. We'll call it the 47-yard line. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 6. 9.5 minutes left in the first half. Conroe has scored twice. It's 14-0, Tiger lead. Caney Creek using a lot of clock, under 10 seconds left on the play clock as they come to the line of scrimmage, and we're down to 5 seconds. Put a man in motion. It's a handoff to the fullback up the middle. Quarterback almost loses his footing on the handoff. No gain on the play. It'll bring up a 4th down. They'll actually give him a yard on this. It'll bring up 4th and 5. And although they have finally made it into Conroe territory, not deep enough to go for it on this 4th and 4. So the punt team coming out. The last punt return by Conroe was returned for a touchdown. We'll see how Caney Creek reacts with the punt on this possession. The snap is a little low, fielded good by the punter. The kick is up, wave for a fair catch, and it is caught at the 19-yard line. That's where Conroe will start this series with 8 minutes and 22 seconds left in the first half. Conroe leads 14-0, and they'll look to add to that before we go into halftime. Next week is homecoming for Conroe, as they will host Willis here at Moorhead Stadium. They'll be back in their traditional home unis on the home side of the stadium, as tonight they are the visitors to the Caney Creek Panthers. They've got 4 wide receivers, 3 of them split to the left. This is a play action pass across the middle. It's off the hands of the receiver and intercepted by Caney Creek. Trey Jackson with the interception, and that's a huge turnover. That is the momentum that Caney Creek needed to sort of shift in their favor, and they will get great field position on this possession as the ball is marked at the Conroe 32-yard line. So a great heads-up play by the Caney Creek defense, the tip drill, and a great interception. There's 8 minutes and 15 seconds left in the second quarter. Caney Creek looking for their first score of the night. They trail 14-0. They'll come out of their huddle in a tight formation, no wide receiver split wide. Man in motion takes the pitch, then cuts it up the middle and tries to pump those legs up to the 25, makes it to about the 27-yard line. A gain of about 5 or 6 yards on that. It'll be 2nd and 5. We're just inside of 8 minutes. And we have a great crowd out here tonight, as one might expect. The visitors' bleachers being filled by the Conroe Tiger fans, and Caney Creek gets the home side, and both sides well represented this evening. Caney Creek coming up to the line of scrimmage. It's a good snap. Quarterback rolls to his left. It looks like a designed quarterback keeper, and he is brought down for a loss back to the original line of scrimmage. That brings it all the way back to about the 32-yard line. Not the direction the Panthers wanted this drive to go, and it brings up a 3rd and long. 3rd and 10 with just over 7 minutes left in the half. If I were to guess, I would think that you're playing with 4 downs here, so you don't need to pick up all 10 yards on this particular possession. You can kind of break it up and see what yardage you can chunk out on this 3rd down and try to shorten it up and maybe pick up the 4th down, but we'll see how Caney Creek is going to play here. It's a rollout to his right. Quarterback looking to throw, evades a would-be tackler, goes for the end zone, had a receiver. I'm not sure if it went through his hands or if he was just well covered. That was a pretty good pass into the front corner of the end zone. Seemed like a pretty good route run as well. A little separation between the wide receiver and the cornerback. And it looks like it was just outside of his reach, perhaps. So that brings up a 4th and long. It does look like Caney Creek is going to go for it. They're deep inside Conroe territory at the 32-yard line. Too much field to try the field goal. And not enough field for a punt to pin them back. They're going to go in this power I formation with 3 running backs behind the quarterback. It is and it's an interception. This was basically a trick play. Running back with the pitch was going to make the pass. It's intercepted and returned inside the 20, and this will be returned for a touchdown. Conroe. It looks like there's no laundry on the field, so this touchdown will stand and bring the score to 20. No, there is a flag on the field. So that penalty is a personal foul penalty that will erase the touchdown and bring the ball back 15 yards behind where the penalty occurred, and it was a low block penalty. And I was about to give the Conroe Tigers the Triple Crown. They had scored on offense. They've scored on a punt return, special teams, and this was nearly a defensive touchdown. However, it gets negated by that penalty. So that's a break for Caney Creek. They were getting fancy with the play call, and I like the play call, but the pass was tipped at the line of scrimmage and then intercepted and returned. However, a low block brings it back on the Conroe side of the field at about the 48-yard line. Shotgun snap, quarterback looking deep to pass. Has a man on the right sideline. However, he overthrows him by about 2 or 3 yards. Wide receiver with separation on the play. A little too much on the throw. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10. It's 6 minutes and 10 seconds left in the second quarter. Conroe 14, Caney Creek nothing. Caney Creek defense looking for a stop. Their last time out, they got a turnover. And this run was good for about 8 yards, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 2. And we're inside of 6 minutes. Conroe getting the ball on the Caney Creek side of the field from the 44-yard line. And it's a 3rd and 2. Shotgun snap. It's quarterback keeper. And he fumbles it on his way down. It looks like he recovered it, and it is recovered by the Tigers. So that's enough for a first down. They'll move the chains. And that'll start this series of downs from the Caney Creek 39-yard line. The clock is ticking, under 5.5 minutes left in the half. It's a play action pass. Quarterback looking across the middle, has his man across the middle open, throws over his head, just out of reach. A couple of Caney Creek Panthers there on the coverage. Incomplete pass will bring up 2nd and 10. Conroe has all 3 of their timeouts left. Caney Creek with just 1 of their timeouts left. Tigers lead 14-0 on this first ever matchup between the Tigers and the Panthers at the varsity level since Caney Creek opened 26 years ago in 1996. Man in motion for the Tigers, 5 wide receivers. Quarterback with a short pass bounces it. Pass was intended for Lewis Williams III. Incomplete, brings up 3rd and 10. Five minutes, 14 seconds left. Clock is stopped with that incomplete pass. Tigers have a running back in the backfield. Perhaps Nick Medina, if my eyes are proving correct here. It is a pass to the left sideline, a great catch, overplayed by the defense, so gives him some running room, and he is through some arm tackles and into the end zone for a touchdown for the Tigers as they go up 20-0, pending the extra point. So a really great run after the catch. Fought hard for that score. And puts the Tigers up by 3 scores. Looking for a 21-point lead on this extra point. Snap is up, the hold is good, and the kick is off the upright, and the kick is no good. It's off the right upright. So the Tigers 20, Caney Creek Panthers nothing, looking for their first score on this next series. So I have a cousin who was a kicker in college and played a little bit of arena football, and he's just a couple years younger than me. I'm in my 40s. He's telling me he could still make a 50-yard field goal. And so my brother and myself, obviously telling him there's no way, he's too old. And then he had the audacity to suggest that I could not kick a college extra point, which turns out to be about a 20-yard kick. So I saw them last weekend. I had the football block, the tee. I had about 5 opportunities and I did not make one extra point. So I have nothing but admiration and respect for these high school kickers who make it look so easy on those extra points. But as that one goes off the upright, I understand how difficult it is to get them through the uprights. I believe of my 5 kicks, I only got one that would have actually cleared the bottom of the goal post. And following my excursion on the football field, I could not walk without a limp for the next 3 days. And that's when I realized my window of opportunity has passed me by. There are 5 minutes and 3 seconds left in this first half. Conroe up 20-0. Caney Creek with plenty of time to try to get on the board before they go into halftime. Conroe will get the kickoff in the second half. This is fielded inside the 10, a little bit of running room past the 25-yard line, brought down at the 29. So Caney Creek with decent field position here. With 4 minutes, 58 seconds left in the first half, they'll be looking to get something started. They have been able to move the ball, mostly through the ground, and a couple of passes mixed in there to keep the Conroe defense honest as they are stacking the line with 5 down linemen and then stacking the box. There is not a safe. The safety's playing 6 yards off the line of scrimmage. So the pitch goes to the running back who has absolutely no running room, brought down at the line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 10. Caney Creek gonna have to do something to soften up this Conroe defense. And part of that seems to be that they're splitting a wide receiver wide, which is not always the formation that they use. Trying to bring one of those DBs out of the box and closer to the sideline, trying to create some space for their running backs. They typically have 3 running backs in the backfield to go with the quarterback, who typically operates from under center. Man in motion, quarterback dropping, looking to pass, looks for the right sideline, does not have a man there, overthrows into the sideline. Pass incomplete, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. Just over 4 minutes left in this first half. And every time I look up into the stands from the field, I see more and more people showing up. So it's a great crowd tonight here at Moorhead Stadium. Caney Creek Panthers playing host. To the Conroe Tigers. Conroe, of course, playing within sight of their own high school, so it's got to be odd to have the visitor jerseys on tonight. A rollout to his left, quarterback looking deep, kind of throws off his back leg, has the wide receiver, but throws it just out of bounds on the left sideline, and that'll bring up a 4th down. They will have to punt. They're deep in their own territory with exactly 4 minutes left in the second quarter. This first half going by rather quickly. Conroe holding on to a 20-0 lead, and they'll try to tack on another score with the 4 minutes left in this half. They will get the ball to start the second half. That would be a big advantage if they can score going into the halftime, and then knowing that they'll start with the ball again can be kind of demoralizing for this Caney Creek crew. However, they showed a lot of moxie against the Sam Rayburn Texans 2 weeks ago. So I know Caney Creek will not give up on this fight. They're going to use their last timeout of this first half to make sure everything's right for their punt. Conroe already has a punt return touchdown on the night. I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening on the Conroe ISD Athletics YouTube channel. And I want to thank our technical crew who's making sure this gets on the YouTube channel and that you can hear everything and see everything, beginning with Andrew Stewart, Ryan Dickey, Robert Davidson, Abby Johnson, Nathan Goins, Garrett Rickwalt, William J. Blackburn, Eliana Del Aguila, Alvin Ham. I'm Nick Kroll. I get the benefit of standing up here in the press box, calling a great game. The rest of them, they're doing the grunt work and making sure that it goes over the air. So I thank them for all the hard work that they're doing to get this game to you. The punt snap is good. The kick is very high, except it's whistled dead. I'm not sure. There's a false start call against Caney Creek, so they'll go back 5 yards and try this again. Conroe Tiger punt returner setting up at about the 43-yard line. Tigers should get a short field to operate on this possession, and this one's going to drop right around Caney Creek's own 45-yard line, so it's downed immediately by the Panthers, as it looked like it was going to bounce in Conroe's favor. 45-yard field for the Conroe Tigers to navigate with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the first half. They lead 20-0 as they sport their visitors white jerseys, white helmets, gold pants, and their fans getting a different perspective at Moorhead Stadium as they are on the south side of the stadium. And then, folks, I just took a look out east, and we have a gorgeous moonrise happening. If you're anywhere near a window, take a peek. These September nights have been very nice here in Montgomery County. So there was what appears to be a 15-yard penalty against Caney Creek because they just marched off 15 yards and gave Conroe the ball at the Caney Creek 30-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10. Snap into the shotgun, quarterback looking downfield, moving his feet, getting out of the pocket, going on the right sideline, tucks it, runs to the 25, makes a move to the 20, and cuts inside to the 15-yard line before being brought down at the 14. So that is being negated by a holding call. 10 yards back from the spot of the foul. This will bring up a 1st and 20 for the Tigers. Just over 3.5 minutes left in the half. Caney Creek defense looking for a stop here. Caney Creek would love a turnover. They have 1 interception on the night. Conroe looking to add to their 20-0 lead. Put a wide receiver in motion from left to right. 5 wide receivers split. Empty backfield. Quarterback drops. 3-step drop. Quick pass to number 3. Looking for some blockers. Making his way to the other sideline. He has some running room. He's going to take this down to the 10. 5 before he is pushed out of bounds at about the... Looks like they're marking him closer to the 9-yard line. Good yards after catch from this Conroe Tigers wide receiving group. Quick to the line. They'll go with 4 wide receivers. They've got a man in the backfield to join the quarterback. From shotgun, looks to his right. Quick pass to the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. Conroe. That might be Nigel Leday with the reception. It's getting a little dark in the press box, and my eyes are a little bit old, and the print is a little bit small. So Conroe goes up 26-0 with exactly 3 minutes left in the first half. They'll look to add to their lead with the extra point. The snap is low, but the hold is good, and this one goes through the uprights. And the Tigers lead 27-0. Caney Creek will get the kickoff here with 3 minutes left in the half, and they will look to get anything started on offense. Even a field goal to go into halftime would be welcome here as they are looking to get something started. They received the kickoff in the first half, so Conroe will get it to start the second half. Caney Creek being shut out so far. They will look to get something started here with just a few minutes left in this half. Again, 3 minutes left. Conroe has all 3 timeouts left. And with Caney Creek mostly committed to the run, we'll see if Conroe sits on those timeouts or wants to use them to give themselves one more possession before the half. Again, the Tigers lead 27-0. We will give you halftime entertainment here on the Conroe ISD Athletics YouTube channel. You'll get both schools during halftime, so make sure you stay with us. Both teams set for the kickoff. 2 men deep for Caney Creek, set up at the 5-yard line. And the kick is fielded at the 4, brought to the 15, up the middle to the 20, head down at the 25. And that's where they're going to mark him down at the 25. If it's not a full moon, we're about a day away from a full moon, but it is absolutely gorgeous out there. We've got a bright orange moon coming up on the east side of the stadium. Adds a little ambiance to this excellent Friday night football game from Moorhead Stadium. Caney Creek Panthers hosting Conroe. First time these varsity teams have met. And on this play, brought down in the backfield, it looks like Conroe saying it was a fumble recovery. I haven't seen an official call on this, although it looks like the Caney Creek defense is going out and acknowledging that that is, in fact, a turnover. And if so, that's a huge turnover with 2 minutes and 47 seconds left in the half. Coming off of a Conroe score to make it 27-0. Caney Creek was trying to get something started going into the half, as Conroe will start with the ball in the second half. But the Tigers with a big turnover there. And now they get a very short field of their own, starting from the Caney Creek 25-yard line. They've got 2 minutes and 47 seconds to work with, as they'll try to add to their 27-0 lead. It is a play-action pass. Quarterback with his eyes downfield, keeps his feet moving, has a wide-open man on the right-hand side, and he will walk it into the end zone for the score. And that was Cameron Thomas, the senior, with the reception and the touchdown. That gives them a 33-0 lead, pending the extra point. And there's just over 2.5 minutes left in this half. So a lot of scoring going on from Conroe at the back end of this second quarter, adding to their lead and maintaining their shutout against the Panthers. Extra point kick is up, and this one is good as well, so they go up 34-0. Conroe with a large lead as we get closer to halftime. Just over 2.5 minutes left to play. So on this replay, you'll see the snap. Excuse me. This is the replay of the touchdown with the wide open receiver right there. Easy 6 points for the Tigers. As Caney Creek gets one more shot in this half to get something going. Any points on the board would be welcome at this point in the night for the Panthers. About 21.5 minutes into this game, and they have yet to put points on the board. Two men setting up on the 5-yard line again. Caney Creek would love to get a big return here, either for a short field or all the way for 6 points. Anything to get on the board at this point. There's the kick. It's another good deep kick. This one is going to go into the end zone and down by Caney Creek, so they'll bring it out to the 25-yard line. Conroe 1-1 coming into tonight's game. Their opening week loss was to the runners-up in state, Katy Paytow, and they only dropped that game 14-3. And then rebounded last week with a huge victory over Eisenhower, 56-7, and they're looking to continue that momentum with a big win tonight. They're off to a good start, 34-0 over Caney Creek. They'll try to get it together at halftime, though. The Panthers never say never, and they certainly won't give up. This one is a handoff on the left side of the line. Spins past a couple would-be tacklers and brought down at the 30-yard line. They'll mark him at the 31, and that'll make it a 2nd and 4. Two minutes and 20 seconds left in the half. There is no urgency from the Panthers. Very deliberate offense. Traditional huddle. Take their time getting to the line. And we are getting real close to the 2-minute mark in this half. From under center, puts number 9 in motion. There is a flag on the play. Quarterback looking downfield, going to keep it. Moves to the middle of the field, and now he's off to the sideline where he's looking for some running room. Almost gets to the 50, but brought down at about the 48-yard line. A big gain by the quarterback. This one, I believe it's going to stand. This flag seems to have been in neutral zone. So it was a defensive penalty that's declined. Caney Creek will pick up the first down on that play. And they're operating from just short of midfield from their own 48-yard line. New set of downs, 1:40 left in the half. Caney Creek so far shut out. Conroe up 34-0. This is a handoff to number 24. Has no room to run. If he picked up anything, it was a yard. Swarmed by the Tigers. And Conroe uses their first timeout to stop the clock at 1:15. And when we come out of this timeout, Caney Creek will be 2nd and 9 with just over a minute left to play in the half. Caney Creek offense very reliant on their rushing attack, and Conroe showing up to stop that fairly effectively this evening. Caney Creek has 2 rushers inside the top 10 in district standings, Jaden Graves and Timothy Palmer. However, not able to get too much started against this Conroe Tiger defense. Caney Creek opened the season with a big win over Sam Rayburn, 33-28. And then last week, met a Galena Park team that took the game 35-7 from them. They were looking to rebound tonight against Conroe, off to a bit of a slow start, but we still got a half to go after this. They are down 34-0. Play action pass, quarterback going deep. Separation by the wide receiver. He's got the reception. He is brought down inside the 15-yard line. A huge catch for the Panthers. And a big first down for Caney Creek. Deep inside Conroe territory. They will get a 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. And they've got 1:04 left in this half. Quickly to the line here. And the quarterback spikes the ball to stop the clock. Clock stops with 1:01 left. So some clarification by the officials. Ruled an incomplete pass. So in the stat sheet, it will look like an incomplete pass. That was just a clock stoppage. With no timeouts left, Caney Creek forced a spiked ball, but they still got 3 downs to play with. As it's 2nd and 10. They're at the 12-yard line, looking for their first points on the evening. They trail 34-0. 3 running backs in the I formation. Quarterback looking to pass, looks in the end zone, does not have a man open. It's a late cut towards the sideline, overthrew him by a bit. That'll bring up a 3rd down. They need to get it to the 2-yard line for a first down. 12 yards to cross the end zone. It's a handoff. Number 24 looking for some running room. Brought down at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard. Looks like they'll give him the 11. That brings up a 4th and 9 with 42 seconds and ticking off this clock. We're now about 35 seconds left in the half. This is a big 4th down. Caney Creek with 22 seconds left on the play clock. So there's about an 8 to 9 second difference between the play clock and the game clock. It's a snap. They're in the backfield immediately with a huge sack. Conroe with a big 4th down sack prevents Caney Creek from putting anything on the board with 17 seconds left in this first half. Conroe leads 34-0. They will get the ball on a turnover on downs at their own 20-yard line. And we'll see if they'll try something big with 17 seconds left and a 34-point lead, or if they will be satisfied with this lead going into a half in which they will get the kickoff to begin the second half. So it looks like they'll line up with 4 wide receivers, a little bit tighter to the line, triples on the right side. It's a pitch to the right, some running room, through some arm tackles and brought down at the 30-yard line. They'll stop the clock to move the chains with 11 seconds left. A new set of downs for the Tigers. And Conroe will spend their 2nd timeout on the night with 11 seconds left. Next week, Caney Creek will visit Grand Oaks for a district contest, and Conroe will be back here at Moorhead Stadium in their home unis as they will host Willis for their homecoming. So a big homecoming week next week for Conroe. And I imagine for all their feeder schools. I am a teacher at Crier Intermediate, so shout out to all the Crier Cats who might be catching this broadcast. And a reminder that we get to participate in the homecoming spirit days with our Conroe brothers and sisters. And before you accuse me of being biased towards one side or the other tonight, my wife works at Caney Creek. So I am completely impartial and just looking for a great night of football. Conroe coming out of the timeout with 11 seconds left in this half. They lead 34-0. They'll go with an empty backfield and 5 wide receivers. Quarterback back. It's a short pass, a screen pass to number 5. He has some running room. Caney Creek trying to bring him down. He's across midfield and carrying about 4 Panthers on his back down to the 41-yard line. Time expires on that play, so that's the end of the first half here at Moorhead Stadium. Conroe Tigers 34, Caney Creek Panthers nothing. These teams will try to work it out at halftime. I encourage you to stick around. You get both high school bands to play their halftime shows, and we will broadcast it here on the YouTube channel, and we'll come back to broadcast the game live at the start of the third quarter. I hope everybody enjoys the halftime performances. I know I sure do. So don't go anywhere. Keep it right here as the bands start getting set up. It will be interesting, once again, as Conroe is technically the visitors. So they get the visitors space or slot in the halftime show here to perform first before the Caney Creek Panthers will get their performance. So again, different perspective for the Tigers fans as they're on the south side of the stadium, checking out the performance for the first time from that angle. I hope you all enjoy the halftime performances. I'll be back on in just a few. All right, two great performances from two fantastic high school bands. Conroe Tigers got us started at the beginning of the halftime there with a great performance, and then wrapped up by the Caney Creek Panthers marching band. I did notice a little Willy Wonka music at the end of that performance, and that took me in the way back. And I also want to mention how impressed I am with the xylophone players, because I honestly forgot how much you can rock out on a xylophone until I'm watching them perform. I haven't heard xylophones that good since the Violent Femmes album in the early 1980s. So it's been quite a while. And speaking of quite a while, Caney Creek Panthers and Conroe Tigers have not played each other at the varsity level since Caney Creek opened their high school back in 1996. So it's been 26 years since these teams have met. Right now, we've got about 3.5 minutes left till the start of the second half. Conroe with a commanding 34-0 lead, and the Tigers will start the second half with the ball. Thank you for joining us this evening on the Conroe ISD Athletics YouTube page, where we bring you games from Moorhead Stadium. And I want to take a little bit of time to acknowledge our wonderful crew who brings this game live to you. All I get to do is stand up here, put a microphone in front of myself, and call the game. So I basically have the best gig, but I do have to acknowledge all the hard workers behind the scenes. Andrew Stewart, Ryan Dickey, Robert Davidson, Abby Johnson, Nathan Goins, Garrett Rickwalt, William J. Blackburn, Eliana Del Aguila, and Alvin Ham. I want to thank all of them for getting the broadcast on the YouTube page and making it so easy for me to just come in here and unmute the microphone and get started on this broadcast. I really enjoy it up here. My name's Nick Krall. I'm a teacher at Cryer Intermediate, and I'm a proud Cryer cat. And I hope I've got a couple of Cryer cats who are listening in following the game. Both teams came in tonight with a 1-1 record. That put them in third place in the district. New Caney and Grand Oaks both 2-0 at the top of the standings. And then Cleveland and College Park came into the weekend 0-2, looking for their first victories. It is the first week of District 13 play. Conroe coming off a big win last week, 56-7 over Eisenhower. Caney Creek started the year with a big win against Sam Rayburn before dropping a tough one to Galena Park last week, 35-7. It is a gorgeous night out here at Moorhead Stadium. As you may have figured out from earlier, Conroe Tigers sporting their away jerseys. They are actually the visitors tonight, and their fans are on the visitors or south side of the stadium. Caney Creek playing host. They are the home team in their black jerseys. Both teams setting up behind their inflatables. We got the smoke action in front of the Conroe Tiger blow up. And both teams waiting to make their dramatic entrances onto the field. Some other district games happening this week. We had one last night, the Woodlands. Winners over Oak Ridge 45-17. And then tonight, College Park taking on Grand Oaks, and Willis taking on New Caney. Looking ahead to next week, Caney Creek will travel down south to take on Grand Oaks, and Conroe will be right back here at Moorhead hosting Willis for their homecoming game. And we're just about set to start this second half as the halftime clock is ticking down to about 20 seconds. Both teams back on their respective sidelines, ready to get this second half started. Again, it's 34-0, Conroe lead. Coming into this game, it was a contrast in styles, with Conroe relying more on a passing game and Caney Creek quite the opposite and committing to the run, typically lining up with 3 running backs in the backfield, while Conroe lines up with an empty backfield and 5 wide receivers. And then another distinction between these teams is Conroe came in with a +3 turnover ratio, Caney Creek with a -4, and there have been turnovers in this game. A couple on each side. a punt return touchdown for Conroe special teams early in the game. As you can tell from the 34-0 score the first half, momentum pretty much dominated by Conroe. Although we've got 24 minutes left in this matchup, and Caney Creek looking to get something started here in the second half. They will be kicking off to the west end zone. That's the right side of your screen. So Caney Creek starting the second half here, going left to right. Conroe will receive the ball, and they'll be moving that ball right to left. Conroe's got 3 players deep on this kickoff, all inside the 10-yard line. This kick is high and deep. It's going to be fielded at the goal line. It's dropped and picked up, brought up to the 10, across the 15, across the 20, up to the 25. Makes a spin move to the 30, middle of the field, up to the 40. High-stepping some tacklers and brought down just short of the 50-yard line. A huge kickoff return to get this second half started for the Conroe Tigers. They'll start from their own 49-yard line. A really good kick. And then not the cleanest reception on the kickoff, but a heck of a run. I'll give them a 51-yard field to try to add to their 34-point lead. Conroe coming out in a 4 wide receiver set. They do have a running back in the backfield along with the quarterback who's in shotgun. Wide receiver in motion. It's a bobbled play. It is a fumble. The motion wide receiver number 3 drops on the ball for the fumble recovery, but it'll be for a loss. That was intended for Lewis Williams III, who's had some big receptions today. There is a Caney Creek Panther down, able to get up on his own. Trainers stop at the hash mark and realize we are not needed, and that's a good thing. Conroe Tigers led by Coach Cedric Hardiman. Caney Creek Panthers led by Kendall Heinman. And Coach Heinman started here at Conroe. Well, I take that back. I don't know that he started here, but I know that he came from the Conroe coaching staff when he became the Caney Creek head coach a couple years back. First time these teams have ever met at the varsity level. It's been all Conroe so far. Shotgun snap, quarterback looking downfield, keeps his feet moving, and he is going to tuck and run past the 45-yard line. He's picked up the first down. He makes a couple moves past the 30, down to the 25 before being brought down at about the 24-yard line. Big gain for the Tigers. Hardly any time off the clock here in the second half. It's 11 minutes and 32 seconds left. We've played 28 seconds in the second half, and Conroe already threatening to add to their 34-0 lead. They'll quickly go to the line. Tigers with a 5 wide receiver set, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Quarterback with an empty backfield. Puts his man in motion. They'll do a play action pass across the middle, has his wide receiver open. It's through his hands. That pass was intended for Cameron Thomas. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the Caney Creek 25-yard line. Quick switch on defense for the Panthers, and it's got to be quick because Conroe even quicker to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10. This is a pitch to the running back who takes it on the left side of the line, gets first down yardage, carries a couple tacklers with him. He is not to be brought down, and he crosses the goal line. That was about 15 yards after contact, and he literally dragged some tacklers with him. Not to be denied the touchdown, and the Tigers go up 40-0 on the Panthers, trying to extend this lead to 41 with this extra point kick. They've been good on all kicks except one that went off the right upright. We'll see if they can make it 41-0 on this kick. It's a good snap, good hold, and this is right through the uprights. Conroe goes up quickly here in the third quarter, 41-0. Barely a minute off the clock. We have 10:54 left in this third quarter. So Caney Creek will get the ball back, their first possession of the second half, and they will try to get something started on offense. They need to score in any form or fashion here to make this a game. Both teams with identical records coming into this I want to say highly anticipated game. I know that I was looking forward to it for a couple of weeks, as I knew I was going to get a chance to come up here and watch this game, knowing it's the first time these teams have met. I was impressed a couple weeks ago when Caney Creek took on Sam Rayburn and showed a lot of guts to pull out that win. I remember going home and saying that was one of the most exciting football games I've had a chance to be a part of here in Conroe ISD. And in all honesty, this one's getting a bit out of hand, but Caney Creek, they can show a lot of moxie here on this possession by putting some points on the board and getting themselves back into this contest. This kick is up. It's going to be fielded at about the 1 yard line. Advance to the 10, looking for some room to run. Conroe all around him, bringing him down at the 14 yard line. They'll give him that extra yard and call it a 15 yard pickup. That's where the Panthers get the start here on their first possession of the second half. 1st and 10 from their own 15 yard line, just under 11 minutes left to play in the third quarter. And with their style of play being so run dominant, they will end up using quite a bit of clock on their possessions, and that unfortunately works against them here in the second half with a 41-point deficit. We'll see if that changes their approach at all. They will start with a run, and a hard run at this, number 9, with some room to run, gets about an 8 yard gain. And that is their second leading rusher, Timothy Palmer, on the carry. We'll bring up a second. They'll give him 9 yards on that carry. And they'll look at a 2nd and 9, or excuse me, a 2nd and 1. Conroe Tigers ready on defense. They go with 5 down linemen. And this is the first Conroe game I've called this year. I don't know if that's typical or if that is something they've come up with because they know Caney Creek is so run heavy. This one is a play action pass down the middle of the field. Number 24 open. It was in his hands. He was well covered. That would have been a hard catch to make, but he almost roped that in. But just bobbled a little bit and incomplete. I like that play with 2nd and 1. Going for the big chunk of yards right here. They just need to pick up a first down. First half, Conroe defense was making it into the backfield with ease. And a lot of tackles for losses. Caney Creek just needs to get a push off the line here to pick up this first down. It is 3rd and 1, 9 minutes and 54 seconds on the clock. Man in motion. It's a handoff to the fullback. He's hit immediately. He does fight for a little bit of yards. They're going to mark him short of the 25, and that'll make him short of the first down. He was hit in the backfield, but he kept pumping his legs, tried to get that first down, and came up just short. Caney Creek going to be forced to punt since they are so deep in their own territory. Not how they wanted to start the second half with their first possession, as we get close to 9 minutes left here. And Conroe not really set on special teams. A quick snap and the punt is off. It's going to drop at the 40 and give a Caney Creek bounce where they down it at about the 34-yard line. Not a bad punt. Not terrible field position for Conroe either. They have had a lot of success on offense, as is reflected in the 41-0 score. Both sides of the ball, in fact. Tigers playing very well tonight. Special teams as well with a punt return touchdown. Conroe with a quick 7 points to start this half. This will be their second possession of the second half, and they will try to add to their 41-point lead. Quarterback back to pass with his eyes downfield. He's going to tuck it and run off the right side. Plenty of room to run, looking for the sideline, crosses the 50 and goes out of bounds right at the 50 is where they'll mark him. There's a hold on the play. Conroe, that's coming back from the spot of the foul, which will be around the original line of scrimmage. It'll probably make this 1st and 20. Looks like they'll go back to about the 24-yard line. One running back set. They put number 13 into the backfield. Now in motion to the right. Quarterback drops, looks to his right. It's a screen pass to number 3. He's got some running room. He uses his blockers, and he makes a juke move at about the 45-yard line. Now he's going to the other sideline where he crosses midfield. He has some room to run. He's got some wheels. He's outrunning some would-be tacklers. There's a flag thrown. Another move gets him inside the 15 and down to about the 13 or 12-yard line before finally being brought down. Flag thrown back at the 30. Officials determining what this flag is for. And we're waiting on the call. And I believe they're getting ready to tell us what this flag is for. So 2 fouls, both on Conroe. Back to the block to the back being declined in favor of the personal foul penalty, which tacks on another 15 yards. And depending on where they spot it, it will be a 1st down and about 14 yards, maybe 13 yards. It's about 1st and 13. Just over 8 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Tigers lead 41-0. Tigers with the ball from the shotgun. Quarterback with no drop. He just flings it on the right side, and it is out of reach of the wide receiver, number 3, Lewis Williams III. Williams is a senior wide receiver who leads the team in receptions with 11 coming into the game, 168 yards on the season. He has definitely added to that tonight. And he seems to be the primary target. This is a handoff, and it's whistled dead. It's going to be a false start penalty on Conroe. So if there's anything negative to say against the Tigers tonight, seeing as they have a 41-0 advantage, is that there has been several penalties called that have stalled out drives. As you know, this drive had made it down to the Caney Creek 12-yard line before being stepped back due to a penalty, and now they're on their own 25-yard line. This brings up a 2nd and 18, just under 8 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Empty backfield, 5 wide receivers set, 3 on the left, 2 to his right, quarterback in the shotgun, man in motion, quarterback sweep, it's an option, he pitches it to his running back, he's hit in the backfield and brought down at about the 28-yard line. Nick Medina on the carry for Tigers. That brings up a 3rd and 16. Clock ticking down to the 7-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter. Tigers lead 41-0. Play clock's down to 15. No urgency on the Conroe side. Quarterback drops, looking downfield. He's going to get sacked, hit from his blind side, brought down at the 25-yard line. And that brings up a 4th down. Caney Creek defense feeling good about that series, as they are going to force the Tigers to punt. Not many defensive stands from the Panthers tonight, is evidenced by the 41-0 deficit they are faced with. However, that was a good defensive stop. They'll get the ball back. They should have a shorter field to work with. Some very wide splits on the line for this punt formation. It's a great snap, and the punt is up. It's a little bit short, coming down right around the 50. Takes a Conroe bounce. They're going to let it die at the 42-yard line before they down it. And that's where the Panthers will take over with 6 minutes and 6 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Beautiful Moorhead Stadium. It looks gorgeous tonight. Clear skies. I believe it's 80 degrees. We might be in the upper 70s now. And the moon that keeps rising to the east here, just over the scoreboard. It will be a full moon tomorrow. I had to look it up because it looks full to me. And it is, in fact, the harvest moon. And it looked very orange as it made its way over the horizon earlier. Caney Creek coming to the line. They do have a wide receiver split wide right from under center. They put a man in motion to the right side. It's a quick pass to the wide receiver. He's looking for his block. The man in motion not over there quick enough to give him the block on that play, and they'll actually lose about 3 yards on the play. That'll bring up 2nd and 13. Caney Creek finding it hard to get positive yards against this Conroe defense. Conroe's defense came into this game with the 2nd-ranked defense in the district, holding their opponents to an average of 240 yards a game. And they've proven that they've got a good defense tonight. A big gain by number 24 off the left side. Hit hard and brought down after about a 7-yard gain. Past the 45-yard line, they'll mark it at the 46. It'll bring up a 3rd and 6. Just about 5 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Panthers facing an important 3rd down here. They are down 41-0. They're having trouble sustaining these drives. They have yet to score. I would not be surprised if this is where they decide they have to get something going and possibly go for it on 4th down, depending on what happens here. It is a handoff with a cut up the middle, brought to the 50-yard line before being brought down, and that'll make it a 4th and 2. And I would be surprised if they do anything but go for it here. We've got 4.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. They are down 41-0. They have little to lose here and much to gain if they can get 2 yards and get a new set of downs. Conroe defense so far tonight has been up to the challenge on these big 3rd and 4th downs. Their big defensive line has been able to get into the backfield of the Panthers, and they go with 5 down linemen. There's going to be a timeout called. Looks like Caney Creek using a timeout. That's their first of the 2nd half. And it'll stop the clock with 3 minutes and 53 seconds left to go in this 3rd quarter. Not a bad use of a timeout at this point of the game when you're looking at a 4th and 2 and it's a 4th down that you really, really need if you want to make a case that this game is yet to be over. Speaking of defenses, Caney Creek came into the game with the 6th ranked defense in district, right behind Grand Oaks. Out of the timeout, Caney Creek comes to the line. It's 4th down and 2 to go. Very important 4th down from under center. The snap is good. It's a handoff. Looking to sweep around the right side. Has very little running room and brought down at the 50. That will be a turnover on downs. Conroe defense with another big stop. So Conroe with another opportunity to add to their lead. They will take over right at midfield from the 50-yard line. 3 minutes, 47 seconds left in the third quarter. We'll see if Conroe's offense just keeps flinging it through the air, or if they're going to slow things down a bit by getting their running game involved here and use a little bit of the clock. And they have nobody in the backfield. They put number 7 in motion from left to right. There's 5 wide. Quarterback in the shotgun, takes the snap. 3-step drop, looks across the middle of the field. Through the hands of a Caney Creek Panther. That was nearly intercepted. And that was Brandon Ramsher, a sophomore linebacker for Caney Creek, who had the middle of the field covered, and that pass went right through his hands. Stops the clock with 3:42 left in the third. Conroe puts a man in the backfield and a man in motion. It's a handoff to number 7. He takes it over the right side of the line. He's got first down yardage. He's trying to make it to the 35, fighting through some tackles, brought down just inside the 35. They'll mark him at about the 35 and a half, 34-yard line. That moves the chains, gives the Tigers another first down. 3:33 left in this quarter. Conroe with all 3 timeouts left in this half. Caney Creek has used 1 of their 3. They'll keep a man in the backfield to the right of the quarterback. He'll take a quick drop. He goes for the end zone, has a man fighting for position. They're going to throw a flag. I think he was being held by the Panther. Pretty sure this will go against Caney Creek. Pass interference or defensive holding. We shall see what the call is. And it'll be a pass interference call against Caney Creek. 15 yards for Conroe. Automatic first down, brings up 1st and 10 from the 19. They're quick to the line. No huddle offense. Quarterback Jarius Hatchett is a senior for Conroe, and he's had a great game tonight. 1 interception, couple touchdowns. This is a handoff off the left side, bringing it past the 10-yard line and across the goal line. That's another touchdown for the Conroe Tigers. And that was Jermeco Green for the Tigers. Sophomore running back with the score. Brings it up to 47-0 Tigers. They'll look to make it 48 with 3:04 left in this third quarter. They've made all but 1 point after. And this one is a good snap, a great hold, and a kick right down the middle. That makes the lead 48-0. Conroe over Caney Creek with 3 minutes, 4 seconds left in this third quarter. So you have to start wondering what Conroe is going to do on their sideline there, if they're going to keep all their starters in, or if they're going to start rotating some other players in there as this game and the margin is getting wider. I do believe Caney Creek will continue to fight and fight hard out here, so keep us on. This game is far from over. We may see some spectacular plays still within both of these teams. And with a big win like this, Conroe might find themselves wearing their white jerseys at home more often. Tonight they are technically the visitors. Not sure if that means they had to move everything into the visitors' locker room. I would imagine that would be a bit much. But they are playing well tonight as the visitors, 48-0. Just over 3 minutes left in the third quarter. The kick is off. It's going to be fielded at the 10, fielded clean, brought up to the 15, looking behind his blockers to the 20. Not quite able to get it to the 25 as he's brought down at the 24-yard line. That's where the Panthers will start this drive. They have yet to get any points on the board. They've had a couple of successful drives. They are a team committed to the run, and unfortunately, with this sort of a deficit, it is very tough to get back in the game with 3 yards and a cloud of dust. So we may see a bit more passing from the Panthers here late in the third quarter as they trail 48-0. Same formation, no wide receivers split wide. Number 24 with the carry. He breaks it up the middle, and he has some running room as he has passed some Conroe Tigers. Almost a horse tackle, so he has to let him go because you cannot take him down that way, and he is inside the 5 across the goal line. They have not yet signaled touchdown. It is a touchdown officially. Caney Creek with a huge run. Finally break open the shutout. Jaden Graves with the carry and the touchdown. Jaden Graves is Caney Creek's leading rusher, coming into the game with over 200 yards. That right there added about 75. So Caney Creek on the board. They got their first 6. They're going to try to make it 7 here with the point after. It's a bit of a high snap, but the holder, great grab, gets it down, kick is up and good. Caney Creek with their first 7 of the night. Makes the score 48-7. Conroe with the lead. 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in the third quarter. So as you can see on the replay right here, has him by the back, cannot tackle him that way. Almost gets him, but leans forward and breaks the plane. Great run from Caney Creek's top running back. He is a junior. That is Jaden Graves. Successful year out of him. Gives you something very exciting to look forward to. So Caney Creek's hoping that's not too little too late. They will try to work some magic here as we are getting closer to the fourth quarter. 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in the third. Conroe up 48-7. They're set to receive. They're putting 3 men back. A man in between the hash marks, lining up at about the 7-yard line, and the 2 on the outside closer to the 5. Between the hash marks and the sideline. Left-footed kicker. Kick is up. It's a deep kick. This is going to go in the end zone. And he's going to take it out of the end zone, folks. He was at least 7 yards into the end zone. He brings it up to the 20. He's got some space to move. He's taking it towards the sideline. There's a flag thrown. He's brought down at the 30. And there's 3 flags thrown. There's a helmet off. And all flags around the general area of the 30, it looks like. I don't know if I saw a signal for a block in the back, or if this will be a hold. Surprised he was going to take it out of the end zone, but when you have a 41-point lead, I suppose you can take chances and do a few things you might not otherwise do. Officials trying to get this figured out. So it's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Conroe because the player lost his helmet and continued to play on the play. And it's a 15-yard penalty. They'll take him from the 30 back to the 15-yard line. That's where Conroe will start this drive. Tigers up 48-7, 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
We have a great crowd tonight here at Moorhead Stadium. Conroe fans filling up the visitor side bleachers, and then Caney Creek with a fantastic showing here on the home side of the stadium. Fun Friday night football. Score's getting a little bit out of hand. Caney Creek with a late score. Makes it 48-7. Conroe was operating with a shutout for most of this game until recently. As good as Conroe has looked, they have been called for several penalties tonight, so that's one area where they'll try to tighten up as they get prepared for their homecoming game next Friday against Willis. Homecoming week, always fun for all those who get to be involved in the activities in the Spirit Week. From the shotgun, it's going to be a handoff, a flea flicker to number 5, who takes it around the right side. He's got speed. He takes it up to the 30, brought down at about the 32-yard line. That's enough for a first down. They'll move the chains and temporarily stop that clock at 2:25. Although this one is a hold, so yet another penalty against the Tigers negates a good run and brings them back, I would imagine, half the distance to the goal. So we're looking at about the 7.5-yard line. Although if I'm going off the spot from the side official, he's marking it at the 10-yard line. So it'll be a 1st and 15. The scoreboard wants to say 1st and 17. I feel like that's where the ball should have been spotted, and they do move it. They're moving it to the 7.5-yard line. That was half the distance to the goal. So it's a 1st and 17, 2:20 left in the third quarter from shotgun. Quarterback takes a 3-step drop, shuffling to his left, looking to throw. He's hit as he throws. The ball is out. The flag is thrown. The fumble recovered by Caney Creek. I think the flag was he was past the line of scrimmage when he tried to make that pass, and if they're saying he made the pass, then it would be an incomplete pass. If he was hit and fumbled, then that fumble recovery will be recovered by Caney Creek. So this will be an interesting call. It was the sideline official who threw the flag, and I do believe the quarterback had passed the line of scrimmage and was getting ready to throw, but he was hit before he actually made the motion, I believe. All right. So they are calling it an illegal forward pass. Quarterback passed the line of scrimmage, which means that was not a fumble, therefore obviously not recovered by Caney Creek. It's a loss of down and half the distance to the goal. So this will go to about the 4-yard line is where they're spotting it. And with a loss of down, it should be a 2nd down and almost 20 yards here. We'll say 2nd and 21. So Conroe going the wrong way on this drive as we get about 2 minutes left in the third quarter. It's a handoff to number 13, who's running wide to the right. He makes the turn. He gets the angle, but brought down from behind. Brought down by his shoulder pads. It's enough for a first down, so they'll move the chains. That was a huge gain. Bit of a scary tackle. I have to claim a bit of ignorance that I assume horse collar tackles are also illegal at the high school level, and that was nearly a horse collar tackle. Dangerous tackle on these young players. Handoff up the middle. He's got a lot of room to run. He's hit at the 35, but falls forward to about the 36, maybe the 37-yard line. That's going to be right at the first down marker. We'll see if they have to measure it or if they're going to move the chains. Actually, there's another flag, and it's an offensive penalty, holding on the Conroe Tigers. So it'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. They'll get to keep their first down, but it stops the clock with 1:34 here in the third quarter. So Conroe having some trouble with the penalties here in the third quarter. They still have a significant lead, 48-7. over the Panthers, but they're struggling here as they make big gains just to have it negated by penalties. A pass to the sideline, number 3 with the reception, Lewis Williams III. Immediately steps out of bounds, just short of the 35-yard line. And then I'll bring up a 2nd and 5 yards. Conroe quick to the line. The clock is stopped with 1:14 in the third quarter. And the snap is high. Quarterback has to fall on it. So a loss of several yards on that, bringing it back to about the 24-yard line. This drive, anything but what the Tigers were looking for. They've been successful all night this third quarter, bringing out the Gremlins. Lots of flags, bad snaps, fumbles. They'll try to get on track here on third down. 13 to go. Quarterback drop, looking to throw, finds a man to the right, has him open. I can't tell if that was brought in or dropped. It looks like it was a complete pass, or no, they're saying incomplete pass. That must have hit the ground on his way down. And that'll bring up a 4th and 13. So Caney Creek with a big defensive stop. Following their first touchdown of the night, they will get the ball back, trailing 48-7. There are 34 seconds left in this third quarter. One man back on the punt return for Caney Creek, set up about the 50-yard line. It's a good snap. The punt is off. It's a line drive. He's going to let it bounce, and then Conroe going to see what kind of bounce it's going to take. They'll down it at the 44-yard line. So a bit of a shorter field for Caney Creek as they take over. Probably run one play here in the third quarter before the clock runs to 0. It's 23 seconds left. On their last possession, a big touchdown by Jaden Graves, the junior running back for the Panthers, and their leading rusher. So Caney Creek with a 1st and 10 on their own 44-yard line. A tight formation on offense with no wide receiver split wide. It's a pitch to number 24. He cuts it up the middle. He's got some room to run. He gets about a 9-yard gain before being brought down just short of that first down marker. Inside Conroe territory. There is a Tiger down at midfield. Which temporarily stops this clock at 9 seconds to go in the third. The other district games this week started last night with a Woodlands victory over Oak Ridge, 45-17. And then down at Wood Forest Bank Stadium tonight, College Park taking on Grand Oaks. And in other District 13 action, Willis taking on New Caney. Willis will be the Conroe Tigers opponents next Friday here at Moorhead Stadium. And that, of course, the big homecoming game for Conroe. Caney Creek, following this game, will regroup and travel down south to Wood Forest Bank Stadium where they'll take on Grand Oaks. Depending on what Grand Oaks does against College Park tonight, they might go into that game undefeated. And Willis, coming into this weekend, is 1-1 as they are facing New Caney tonight. So we're back at it here at Moorhead. Caney Creek with, well, now the time has expired on the third quarter. So we are officially done with 3 quarters with 1 to go. 12 minutes left in this game. Conroe Tigers with a commanding lead, 48-7 over the Caney Creek Panthers. Panthers have finally gotten a little offense started, and they'll see what they can continue with that here in the fourth quarter. And this is a Friday that just kicks off a fantastic weekend of football. A few big college football games, and of course the NFL having started last night. Continues with their slate of games on Sunday. However, most people around here would say nothing can quite match the energy and the excitement of a Good Friday night game here at Moorhead Stadium. And judging by the size of the crowd and the excitement level emanating from these fans, they are enjoying this game despite the large margin, 48-7. Caney Creek trying to continue on offense with a score and a long pass attempt right through the hands of the receiver, who unfortunately is down, trying to get up on his own to walk off a stinger. So an incomplete pass for the Panthers, and that was on a 2nd and 1. So a couple of times tonight trying to get the big yards on a short 2nd down, and that brings up a 3rd and 1. And they'll try to keep this drive going here with 3 running backs in the I formation. It's a pitch to number 9. He drops his shoulder and picks up the 1st down. Gets about 6 or 7 yards down to the 41-yard line, and that'll move the chains and give them a new set of downs. We are in the 4th quarter. 11 minutes and 40 seconds left in this game. Conroe with a comfortable 48-7 lead, but Caney Creek not going to just settle for that deficit. They're going to try to get some more points on the board here as they line up in that power I formation. It's a pitch to the tailback. Number 24 with a couple cuts up the middle, brings it down to the 36-yard line. That'll be a gain of 5. We're hitting the 11-minute mark left in this game. Caney Creek coming out of the huddle, continuing their pace of play, which is deliberate and very reliant on the run. They're committed to the run, and on that play off the left side of the line, they'll pick up about 2, maybe 3 yards. They'll bring up a 3rd and 2. Certainly 4 down territory this late in the game with the 41-point deficit. And a coach at this point is looking to see how his team responds. Are they still playing hard? And Caney Creek definitely going to continue playing hard tonight. Wide receiver split to the left. This is a handoff to number 24, I believe. Makes a cut up the middle before he gets to the left side of the line, and that's enough to pick up the 1st down. That'll move the chains. And they'll start 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. We are in the 4th quarter. We're approaching 10 minutes left in this game. Panthers go to the line with a wide receiver split to the left. Quarterback under center, handoff to number 9. Looks like he's going to run to the right, cuts it up the middle. A good cut, gets significant yards up to the 21-yard line. That'll gain about 7 yards on that carry and bring up a 2nd and 3. We're now inside 10 minutes and just about 9.5 minutes left in this game. Same formation with a wide receiver to the left. This is going to be a little bit of a reverse, and the handoff was dropped but picked up immediately by the running back. He goes forward for positive yardage down to the 16-yard line, and that will be enough for a 1st down. So Caney Creek moving the ball here in the 4th quarter. Just about 9 minutes left. Nine minutes left in this game. Caney Creek making sure they've got the play call right in the huddle. They break the huddle with one wide receiver split to the left. Quarterback under center, pitches it to number 9, takes it off the right side of the line. Hit just about at the line, maybe gets 1. I think they'll give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll be 2nd and 8. And the clock is moving inside 8.5 minutes left in this game. Panthers break the huddle. Wide receiver split wide left. This is a reverse. Turned up the middle. Gain of about 4 or 5 yards. Brings up 3rd down. It'll be 3rd down and 5. We're inside 8 minutes now. Conroe sitting comfortably with a 48-7 lead. Caney Creek trying to get some more points on the board to shrink this margin. A good drive, just a little late in the game. Another pitch handoff. Number 24 up the middle, breaks a few tackles, carries a couple tacklers with him inside the 5. They'll mark him down at the 3. That's enough for a 1st down. So Caney Creek with a 1st and goal. 4 chances to get it into the end zone from the 3-yard line with 7 minutes left in this game. Caney Creek looking for their 2nd score as they trail 48-7. It's a roll out to his right, finds his man in the end zone. I'm pretty sure he caught it across the goal line, but they're marking him down at the half-yard line. Let's call it the quarter-yard line. You can't get much closer to the end zone without actually getting into the end zone. I mean, the nose of that ball is nearly on the line as it is. They'll look to just push this in. I wouldn't be surprised if it's quarterback sneak. We have 6 minutes, 20 seconds left in this game. Caney Creek again looking for their 2nd score. They are inches from the goal line. And it is a handoff to the fullback. Heavy push into the end zone. There's a flag on the play. Offsides defense. Penalty is declined. That is the 2nd score for the Caney Creek Panthers tonight. And they've got 13 on the board. 6 minutes, 10 seconds left in this game. Caney Creek with their 2nd touchdown. Going to try to tack on another point here to make it 48-14. In favor of Conroe. Both teams set for the point after try. This kick is up and good. So Caney Creek now has 14 to Conroe's 48. 6 minutes, 10 seconds left in this game. Conroe with all 3 timeouts, probably won't need them. Caney Creek with both of theirs, may not need them either. We'll see what Conroe's going to do with the 6 minutes on the clock. I'm going to take a minute to acknowledge the Conroe volleyball team. I've been impressed following from afar. I work with some volleyball boosters. I enjoy following the girls who were ranked number 1 in the state. I'm not sure if they still are, but they're having a heck of a season. And I know some of them are out here supporting their Conroe Tigers football team. And I know that the volleyball team getting a lot of support from all these Conroe Tigers as well. So a fun season, and the football team trying to have a season that they can remember as well. Looking to go 2-1 after this game. Trying to keep pace with New Caney and Grand Oaks, who come into this weekend undefeated at 2-0. This is a good, I don't want to say warm-up, but a good weekend before their homecoming game, building confidence of these Tigers. They're off to a great start this season. They did drop their first game to Katy Paytow, but that's a good team down there in Katy. And they held them to 14 points and scored 3 of their own. That's their only loss on the season. This kickoff is fielded in the end zone and returned to the 30-31 yard line. So a big return by the Tigers. Second time they've recovered the kickoff in the end zone and taken it out of the end zone deep. But that's what you can do when you're up 48-14 with 6 minutes left in the game. Tigers coming to the line of scrimmage, 1st and 10 from their own 31 yard line. We have just over, a couple ticks over 6 minutes left in this 4th quarter. And it's a handoff. Several juke moves, takes it to the outside. He's going to the left sideline with a lot of room to run. He's past midfield and up to the 40 before being forced out of bounds. Right past the 40, they're going to mark him out of bounds at the 39 yard line. So Conroe getting it inside Caney Creek territory, and we're inside 6 minutes left in the game. .34-point lead for the Tigers. Clock stops on the out of bounds play. Play clock down to 15. And it's a bad snap on the ground. Running back actually recovers it and tries to get some positive yards out of it, maybe a half a yard, and they're going to spot it right back at the line of scrimmage, so that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Now we've got the clock moving, and we are about 5.5 minutes left to the end of this game. Despite the large deficit, it has been a fun game. Both teams fighting hard, playing hard. Conroe with big plays early gave them a commanding lead early in the game that they have not relented on. They've had troubles keeping the penalty flags off the field here in the second half. In Caney Creek, all 14 points have come in the second half. A little bit of a too little, too late case. But you gotta like when you see a team perform well, even when they're down 40+ points. Timeout, Caney Creek. They had too many men on the field, and they had to call that timeout so as not to attract another penalty. There's 4 minutes and 55 seconds left in this game. Caney Creek down to 1 timeout. Conroe has all 3 of theirs. I'll take one more moment to thank the crew that gets these games on the Conroe ISD Athletics YouTube channel. And that's Andrew Stewart, Ryan Dickey, Robert Davidson, Abby Johnson, Nathan Goins, Garrett Rickwalt, William J. Blackburn, Eliana Del Aguila, Alvin Ham, and I'm Nick Kroll. I have the easiest job of all those people I just named. They're the ones who are pushing buttons and making sure this stuff actually makes it onto the air. There's a quick view of the crowd we have tonight at Moorhead Stadium, and it is a good crowd on both sides. Conroe playing as visitors, so the visitors' bleachers just about filled up. Quarterback looking to throw. He's got his man across the middle, almost intercepted by Caney Creek, number 5 on the coverage. That's Trey Jackson. Breaks up the pass, stops the clock with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left in this game. Brings up 4th down. 4th and 1. Conroe going to go to pick up this 1st down from the shotgun. It's a handoff. Picks up the 1st down, a little bit more. Spins away from some tacklers, carries a few more with him down to the 20-yard line. That'll give him a new set of downs. And we're getting close to 4.5 minutes left in this District 13 game. First game for both teams in district. In fact, the first district game's being played this week. Conroe going to go 1-0 in the district. Caney Creek will start 0-1. Handoff good for about a yard gain before being met at the line of scrimmage. We'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And we're getting close to 4 minutes left. Looks like Conroe will spend a timeout. Actually, there's a player down on the Caney Creek side of the ball, so they will attend to that player. The mere fact that these teams have not played each other at the varsity level in 26 years, and that's as long as Caney Creek has existed as a high school, that made this game very interesting to me. I'm sure Caney Creek came in very motivated to play up to Conroe. And unfortunately, Conroe put on some quick scores in this game after the first quarter was never that close. 48-14 is where we stand right now with 3 minutes and 58 seconds left in this game. The clock starts ticking down from there. It's a handoff and a sweep to the right side. The runner makes it to the sideline before being forced out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. Now there's a flag on the field, and this is coming back. This one will go against Conroe. And it's another hold. And I'm not keeping track of all of these penalties in the second half, but there have been a prolific amount of flags thrown against the Conroe Tigers. So if there's one area upon reflecting on this game that the Conroe Tigers would want to work on correcting, it would be on the penalties. You can't argue with 48 points. Their special teams with one of those scores on a punt return touchdown. And their defense playing very well against the Panthers, shutting them out in the first half. All 14 Panthers points coming here in the second half as Conroe nurses this 48-14 lead. 3 minutes, 45 seconds left in this game. It's a handoff to number 34. He takes it up the middle, breaks a couple tackles before he's being brought down at about the 24-yard line. That's Conrad Levy, sophomore running back. Conroe quick to the line, no huddle offense from the shotgun. It's a pitch to the running back. Takes it up the middle. He's got some speed and some power and drags some people with him. He's yet to be brought down before finally being tackled inside the 5. So we are inside 3 minutes left in this game with Conroe threatening. It's a handoff, number 34, going to make it into the end zone. He gets off his feet and lifts into the air past the goal line, and they signal touchdown, Conroe Tigers. That gives them 54 points pending this extra point, and they extend their lead right now to 40 points over the Caney Creek Panthers with 2.5 minutes left in this game. Number 34 is Trey Simmons. Trey Simmons, a senior running back for the Tigers. This kick is good, and it extends the lead to 55-14. So this one is for the record books, as Conroe will go to 2-1 on the season and 1-0 in the district, while Caney Creek drops to 1-2. And starts their district play at 0-1. As most of you know, Caney Creek now 6A, and this is the first year since they opened as a high school that they're a 6A school. Puts them in the same district as the other Conroe ISD schools. Plenty of opportunities for the Panthers to right the ship and get ready for next week to try again for their first district win. Conroe off to a great start in district play, and they'll look to extend their winning streak to 3 games next week against Willis. And again, that's homecoming week for the Conroe Tigers. They'll be back here at Moorhead Stadium. They'll be the home team, of course. We'll be back on the Conroe ISD Athletics YouTube channel. And I think I get to be the one to come and call that very enjoyable homecoming game next Friday as well. I look forward to that. There's 2 minutes and 35 seconds left in this game. Conroe with a commanding lead, 55-14 over the Caney Creek Panthers. The kick is high and fielded at the 4-yard line. Caney Creek returning it to the 20, looking for the sideline, makes it to the 25 before being brought down. It has been a beautiful night to take in a Friday night football game here at Moorhead Stadium, with both teams calling Moorhead their home stadium. We have a significant crowd out here enjoying some Friday night football. Panthers, unfortunately, on the losing end of this contest. Conroe, the fortunate winners. Not official, but with 2 minutes left and a 41-point lead, I think it is safe to say Conroe will go to 2-1. Caney Creek to 1-2. It is still early in this season. Both teams still capable of having highly successful football seasons. Caney Creek will just have to recover from this tough loss. It's almost like a loss to the big brother, as Caney Creek started their high school in 1996, having split off a bit from Conroe High. And I would hate to see this game get a little chippy at the end, as both sides have played very, very hard. There is no need to finish anything but above board. Less than a minute and a half left in this game. Caney Creek with a first down, 1st and 10. They're at their 35-yard line. It's going to be a pitch to number 9 and a reverse. Hit in the backfield. That'll be a loss of 2 yards. So it'll bring up 2nd and 12. And we are now going to tick inside of 1 minute. We're in the final minute of the game. 1 or 2 plays left on the Caney Creek side of the ball, I would imagine. I want to thank everybody for joining us on the Conroe ISD Athletics YouTube channel. If you're on the fence about coming out here next week for Conroe's homecoming game, I encourage you to do so. It's a great atmosphere out here at Moorhead Stadium. The nights are getting cooler as we get deeper into September. I want to thank the crew one more time for getting us on the air and helping out on all the different aspects of this broadcast. This clock is going to wind down to 0. Folks, your final score tonight is going to be Conroe Tigers 55, Caney Creek Panthers 14. Caney Creek, one more snap. He's going to go for a deep pass. This one's hanging for a while. They're not going to throw a flag on that. They're going to let the clock expire. Your final is 55-14. Conroe comes out ahead. They extend their record to 2-1. I want to thank everybody again for joining us, and y'all have a fantastic football weekend.